Finally, it's here, the day that none of us thought was going to come. It's almost May 6th. It's almost time for the primary election. And I am just as excited as you guys are to have it here and to get this part of this election over with. I'm Greg Wireman, Republican candidate for Stark County Sheriff, and I've talked to you over the last year, and I know you've listened to the other candidates for the last few months talk about why we should become the next sheriff of Stark County. And I've submitted a plan to you from day one that was quite lengthy about the things that I think that we need to change or try to change or work on changing to make Stark County a better and safer place to live, specifically with my CARES program through community policing, awareness, respect, education, enforcement, safety, and security. I provided that plan so that you know exactly what you're getting when you elect me as your Stark County Sheriff. My opponents have talked a lot about how we need new leadership and about all their years of service within the sheriff's office, but I submit to you that the sheriff now has over 30 years of law enforcement experience, yet our community over the last 8 years that he's been in office is in a worse condition when it comes to safety and security now than we've ever been in our history. I'll give you an example. We're in the top 10% of the state in drug overdose. We are number 2 in the state in property crime, number 2 in the state in violent crime. And in the 7-county Lowell District, for the last 4 consecutive years, we've been number 1 in methamphetamine. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that's completely unacceptable. We can and we should be doing better for our community, for our kids, for our taxpayers, for Stark County. Some of my opponents have said I don't want to make campaign promises. I don't want to do that in order to get elected. But I also say this. When you say you're not going to make campaign promises, all you're really saying is that I don't want to be held accountable for what I can't accomplish. But I'm asking you to hold me accountable. I want to be accountable. I'm submitting to you a plan that I want to accomplish, and if I don't do that plan, or if I don't do the best I can to provide the best possible safety and security for our community, I want you to hold me accountable. It's what we haven't done in the last several years. It's been one sheriff hands down the business to the next sheriff, which hands down to the next sheriff. And even now, one of my opponents is being endorsed by the current administration, a former chief deputy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a change in leadership in the sheriff's office. It's time for new ideals, new concepts, and new leadership. The things you haven't heard my opponents talk about is how the state legislature in Indianapolis is talking about taking Class D felons and moving back to the county. Are we prepared to do that? You haven't heard my opponents talk about the fact that the Sheriff Pension Fund is severely underfunded. Do they have a plan to deal with that? You haven't heard my opponents talk about specific plans and how to deal with our drug problem, or how to do rehabilitation, or that we can't be just throwing people in jail. We need to rehabilitate them and give them classes like Thinking for a Change that allows them to make better decisions with their lives so that we don't continue to have the revolving door that we've had in our community for many years with the same criminals over and over. It's time for new ideas. It's time for new leadership. I'm ready to bring that to you. I want to thank you in advance for your participation in this election. I want to thank you for your questions, for coming to my seminars, my gun safety class, for checking out my website. We've got nearly, I think, 16,000 hits almost. It's been awesome, and you guys have really used that. The YouTube videos I've been putting out has been a great tool also. I thank you so much, and to all the people that supported me and helped my campaign. It's either made phone calls or went door to door. All the things that we've done together, I thank you for those things too. More importantly, I want to remind you, please, it's election time. Use your voice. It's time for change. I've heard you at house after house after house tell me about you're ready for change, you're ready for new blood, new ideals. We have that opportunity now. Use your voice. No matter which way you vote, please vote. But I ask you that on May 6th, when you do go to the polls, that you consider the things I've said to you, that you consider my plan, that you see my business and leadership, my law enforcement and corrections experience, and understand that I can bring the most positive change to our community that we've seen in years. I ask for your vote. I ask for you to vote Republican Greg Wireman for Stark County Sheriff. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Hopefully I'll see you soon as the Republican nominee as the next sheriff of Stark County. Have a great day.
Yeah.